So this is a video from a guy. His name is Willem Pugmire. I actually am subscribed to him because I find him to be very interesting. I'll have a link to his video in the description as well if people want to check out the whole thing. We're gonna just talk about a little bit because he's going to talk about H.P. Lovecraft and a recent event that went down pitting Lovecraft against SJWs. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
Apparently, this is the story. I believe it is called the World Fantasy Award. The trophy they gave out for the winner was a statue that was H.P. Lovecraft's head.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there was a petition that was raised by a lot of writers to remove the statue because of Lovecraft's racism.
Mm.
And so now and we're both Lovecraft fans here.
Yes,
so
we are.
we're going to geek out, and we're also simultaneously going to get angry at people who don't know what they're talking about.
That's the name of my book, is Lovecraft's Daughter. So, yeah, I mean, you go back far enough in anyone's bio, especially from back then, you're going to find racist things because they just did not speak like we speak today.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very unfair, I feel, to... Yeah, and I mean, we understand... I don't think anyone at this point is unaware of Lovecraft's racism.
Yeah, correct. That's correct.
And just because I'm not fond of that doesn't mean I don't enjoy his writing. That's patently ridiculous. Let's watch a little bit of this.
I am so excited I can barely contain myself. It gets dark early, so I went out to get a sandwich at the local pub. A Reuben sandwich.
Don't worry, he's going to talk about Lovecraft.
Sandwich, and I always get it to go and bring it home. So it was around 6:30. It's already pitch dark outside, and as I turned into the driveway to park my car, there was a parcel on the porch, illuminated by the porch light, and it was a parcel from Hippocampus Press. I've been having such a Lovecraftian day because I've been going online to forums and commenting on the situation of the World Fantasy Award dropping the trophy of the image of H.P. Lovecraft that has served as the award for so many years, and because people are disgusted by Lovecraft's racism,
that's pretty much the context. Unfortunately, I liked this guy, but I did not find anyone actually making a video about it. But what do you think about the dropping of the trophy?
I would not have made that decision because, like you said, I wouldn't judge someone's body of work based on their opinions that they held. Lovecraft is long dead.
Yeah.
And, we all have our shadows. We all have our bad sides. And unfortunately, at that time, probably everybody was mostly racist. I mean, that's just the truth. And Mark Twain has been called that as well. And Hemingway has been called things too. So it's almost like, and this started in the 1990s, I noticed. It's almost like let's go back and rip apart the dead old white guys. Well, maybe some deserve that, but maybe some don't. But the point is that I'm really not going to waste my time because I want to enjoy their works of literature. I'm not here to judge their life. Mm-hmm. I'm not a judge and jury on their life. And I'm all about enjoying the world they created. And also all those little facets of that personality, be they really bad or really good, help to create that work that they left behind.
It's true.
So
yeah, I mean,
that's my feelings about it.
So some of the people signing the petition were... I feel like there was more of a bias because it wasn't just, Lovecraft's racist. They called him things like, he's an overrated douchebag. Like, he doesn't deserve all this. And I've heard those kinds of criticisms of Lovecraft before, that he's that he's undeservedly popular. And I greatly disagree. I don't know. It's strange to see that the social justice is creeping into even this. This seems so innocuous. And
and it is. That's a good word. But most of the things that they're going after truly are, you know, if you
video
think
games.
Yeah, I mean, shirts. A lot of these issues are non-issues. Okay, well, here's time. Okay, This really irks me when we start to talk about the trivialness of, or the trivial, I should say, trivial issues that are being brought to light that should never even be issues. For example, the whole thing about Shirtgate, and that happened with a physicist, master physicist. Ugh. And from what I know of Gamergate, and like I said, I didn't know much about Gamergate until I started talking to Andy, because I'm not a gamer, you know. But it seems like, and Ayan Hirsi Ali actually said, trivial bullshit. That is what a lot of social justice warriors and feminists are involved in, and that's what they're paying attention to, rather than the fact that, you know, if they want to do something to affect positive change, go out there and get your hands dirty doing something. Do something. Volunteer at a food bank or a shelter. Volunteer for help knit scarves for, you know, domestic violence, a woman's shelter. Or bake cookies, volunteer at an animal sanctuary. I did that for 2 years and cleaned up poop every Sunday for 2 years. That's what I did. And or just foster an animal, or get involved in some kind of Habitat for Humanity, or do something positive. If you want to really be a social activist and affect positive change, you've got to do something. You just can't sit around moan and complain. And that's what it is, a bunch of bitching. And so that's what I see a lot of these things that should be non-issues. They're very trivial, they're very small, they're very base. But it stirs people up, because I really think that people, especially the regressives and the social justice warriors, I think they're so afraid to take on real issues. Because remember, these are tentative people. These are people who are kind of spineless. And I really think they're afraid to take on hard issues.
Well, you were mentioning that earlier, that part of what feminism was originally supposed to tackle was issues with women around the world, not just in America, but women in impoverished areas, women who... but yet, a lot of feminists and social justice warriors, when we try to criticize how women are treated in the Muslim world...
Oh, exactly.
We'll say, oh, well, that's their culture. And you know, if we criticize this inherently misogynistic behavior, we're suddenly bigots and racists, and that's just ridiculous.
It's disgusting, and that is gross that they would say that. And actually, that's actually very patronizing and very, oh, well, it's their culture. Now, doesn't that sound a little bit racist? If they're going to call anyone racist, the fact that they're excusing, if these were Caucasian girls going through female genital mutilation, would they say the same thing? Would they allow the same excuse? The thing is, there are to date, the number, I think it's a UN number. There's 125 million girls and women who have been mutilated today, and these creepy social justice warriors and regressive leftists don't care. They do not care about little girls, and they're not tackling any other issues that are worth anything at all. For example, the rape gangs in India. You don't hear them talking about that.
Nope. But you sure hear a lot about a rape culture in America,
or in video games, exactly, like something like that. And maybe we should have a conversation about rape culture and make it extend out across the globe, and maybe they get it. You know, maybe they've got to understand that. When they start crying rape culture in a video game, they're hurting the very real victim that gets attacked and raped on a campus.
Yeah, it completely trivializes the issue.
It does. And then when you look at what's happening to the Yazidi women, where are the feminists here? Where are the social justice warriors caring about what's happening? Where is the safe space for Yazidi women? Where is that safe space?
Well, here's the thing, because I think it's doubly wrong, because not only will it's not like they're just ignoring the issue. They're not just ignoring violence against women in the Muslim world. They're openly condoning and encouraging it. Yes,
and that is very scary. That's very true. And this is why, and I have said this on Twitter, I've said this in my blogs, this is why men like Harris are better feminists than those feminists. Men like Dawkins and Harris, and
who routinely, at least in the case of Dawkins, get called sexist old
I know.
seniles.
That man has been so slandered about, and he has said some very feminist things. And Lawrence Krauss, oh my goodness, Lawrence Krauss has said lots of things too. And if you listen to all these really smart scientists and all these men, they're carrying the banner for feminism, not social justice warriors. It's these men that are doing it. And I do put other men in that as well, like Michael Shermer.
Also someone who has been shamed for. I've heard him called a sociopathic misogynist as well.
Who?
Michael Shermer.
Michael Shermer, really?
Yes, I believe it was Rebecca Watson who did that.
Oh, I don't know her name. That must tell you that she's radical because I don't pay attention.
She's the elevator gate woman.
The elevator gate. There's another gate.
Yeah, there's so many gates. You didn't hear about that story?
Honestly, no. I like I said, after grad school, I was done. I I don't keep any of them as friends.
Rebecca Watson is she ran a blog called Skepchick. She's part of the Atheism Plus movement, which was basically an infusion of atheism and feminism, and it kind of caused a divide in the atheist community. Oh. And she was in an elevator with a male friend at like 4 a.m. after they'd been out drinking, and he asked her back to his room for coffee. And she later made a video saying, guys, don't do that. Basically saying that she felt very uncomfortable, and this sparked a lot of outrage, even from people like Richard Dawkins, who said it was basically like first world problems personified.
Well, did she accept?
No, she did not. Then they just kind of went their separate ways.
That should have been, if she was offended by that, that should have been a private issue between her and that guy who asked her out.
She chose to make it a public video.
No, whenever you're weirded out by that, you always go to the source. Like, that's unscrupulous. There's no reason for her to call that out as any sort of public issue. He offered, she declined. She may have been creeped out. She should have taken it up with him. This should have been between the two of them, and none of us should know about it.
Yeah, the fact that I know what that story is pretty sad.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad I didn't, because I thought my head was getting too full of this trivial bullshit. I guess there's a lot more out there than what I'm aware of. Huh. So, but seriously, I'm really not. I try really hard to protect myself from these social justice warrior people, because I think it would just be completely unhealthy for me to always. I do need to know what they're doing to the feminist movement. That's very. But it's so upsetting. It is really upsetting. Yeah,
that is perspective I don't hear a lot, and I feel really bad, honestly. I'm sorry that they took from you what was a good label, because they really shouldn't have, and that's just further proof that they can't come up with their own ideas, and all they can do is poison other people's.
Well, they should have used a different word. They should have. They need their own movement. Transgenders need their own movement. These social justice warriors, they need their own movement. Regressive left, they need their own movement. They need to go get their own stuff, and then bring that to the table, and maybe we can have a conversation.
What do you think about feminism trying to tackle like issues that it was not designed to tackle, like issues of race, issues of gender identity?
That's dumb, number one. Very basically, it's just stupid. And you're right, it wasn't. Feminism exists to save lives, girls and women. It exists because women and girls, we can be, and usually we are, imprisoned by our biology. I mean, we are completely different than you guys, and that's neither here nor there, good nor bad. We just are. And it exists because there are very specific things that happen and occur. And we're like my endocrinologist, when I was having some health issues, he looked at my husband and said, we're so lucky because guys are so simple. Women are so complex that they really do have a lot of needs that we don't have. And that's why feminism existed. And there may be one day where we'll truly live in a post-feminist world where our rights will be part of human rights, and great, we can all just be humans and have human rights, but at least be equal in our differences and have our own gender and all that, but no one hate each other. That'd be great. But it's not going to get there with social justice warriors making fake issues and causing trouble. And in a way, well, they are completely and totally detracting us from what we really need to do and really need to be talking about. Like you brought up, women in the Muslim world. Mm-hmm. That is a legitimate conversation we need to have, because as a globe, we have to discuss, there has to be a discussion, a civil discussion, how we're going to progress as a species on this little blue dot with all these horrible things happening in the name of religion. And I really do think that the need for feminism does tie not into our biology and our unique needs, but also religion.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, most religions you could argue are inherently sexist against women.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, atheism and feminism goes hand in hand for me. But it may not be that way for everybody. And this is why I just don't use one title. I'm just not an atheist. I'm just not a feminist. I'm just not a humanist or secularist. I'm all those things. You know, and I don't want to see anyone disenfranchised or marginalized. And I think that's where I'm very different than the social justice warriors because, you know, or any extreme group, any extreme knee-jerk group. And I'm just very different from them where I don't cry wolf. Most of us, we're just not going to cry wolf. And that's what they do, to use that expression.
Well, look what happens when people cry wolf and when they claim things are sexist over and over, and it turns out there really isn't any sexism. People don't believe them eventually.
Yes, exactly. When something does happen, then, you know, oh well. And that's to the point where I think it's gotten for them. I don't know of any rational person who's really going to take them seriously, honestly. And
I honestly, you know, I don't see the movement lasting too long in its current state. I think it's going to implode. I've seen it turn on itself so many times.
You mean feminism or social justice?
Social justice, like these different groups within this kind of Soviet Union of social justice warriors kind of turn on each other. It's not like some real unified movement.
No, it's not.
It's a clusterfuck, and it's bound to explode.
That's a good word. That's a good word because they're also selfish. Me. It's the me movement, the me movement. You know, it's all about me. It's all about me. You know, and that's very much what it is, and that's why, you know, they want to cry about, oh, I don't know if I feel like I don't know what I feel like today. Do I want to put on jeans or a skirt? I don't know what I feel like today. Well, let me be a victim about that. You know, and that's as trivial as it gets. We've all seen that. I mean, you've seen it, you've seen it too, and I've seen people whining about things online, and you know, I don't know if they ever truly came across a hardship. I don't know what they would do. I don't know how they would handle it.
Well, that's why they crumble in the face of conflict and people disagreeing with them, because they don't know how to handle that.
And you can be the nicest person in the world or the most logical and say it in a very matter-of-fact way or non-emotional way or a very kind way, and they're still going to get offended. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that goes to show you that they really think that the world is about them. It's a very me. It's a very, like, what's the psychological borderline personality disorder, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it's very look at me. Oh, I have so much drama going on. I have so much drama. Oh, woe is me. That's very much what it is.
I think we'll get back to Lovecraft briefly, and then we have one more, and then we'll wrap up sooner than later.
Okay.
Been an effort to have the award change, and that effort succeeded, and so the bust will no longer be the Gahan Wilson statue of H.P. Lovecraft, which is really a wonderful, wonderful statue. It makes Lovecraft look like a tiki god or an Easter Island statue. I mean, it's really wonderful. I love it. I would have loved to have owned one. But anyway, so I've been really into discussing that affair online when I should be writing my own Lovecraftian fiction. Hello.
I want this guy on the show.
Bless his heart. Oh, he seems like a big sweetheart.
But yeah, I guess we could just kind of give closing thoughts on the statue thing, and then we'll move on. We kind of got into a bigger conversation, but that's cool.
We did. We always do that.
No, you know, because I think this kind of innocuous problem stems from a much bigger problem.
Yeah, no, it does.
I think a lot of the people who were involved with this, I noticed, were minority writers. people who were personally offended by Lovecraft's views, people who possibly felt like their own work wasn't recognized like they thought maybe it deserved to be, and people put Lovecraft on a pedestal that they thought he didn't deserve. It just feels like pure jealousy to me and contempt for an entire fan base.
Yeah, and I'm just going to agree with you, because that is what it sounds like, and I, in writers' circles and circles of authors, and I've met a lot of authors because I'm an author, you get a lot of that, honestly. You get a lot of jealousy, you get a lot of backbiting, and if someone's dead, they are fair game. So that's exactly what this is.
Yeah, whatever happened to not speaking ill of the dead? You know?
I know. See, it's that old sense of decorum that has gone the way of the dinosaur.
Yeah, because apparently H.P. Lovecraft was just a horrible person, and if you even somewhat like his stories, you are a horrible, racist piece of garbage.
Oh my goodness. They're going to call you names. People are going to call you names in life, and they're going to stare.
I mean,
But
we've demonstrated in the first clip we watched that that's all they have, name calling.
Exactly. Ad hominem attacks.
We can't attack the person, so either A, we'll smear them with names, or B, we will completely strawman their position to make it easy to attack.
Mm-hmm.
I see that happen with Sam Harris. Like, we can't actually attack his brilliant ideas, so let's compare him to Donald Trump. Let's compare him to Ben Carson.
Yeah, and I know that trick so well. The whole straw man, false dichotomy.
Oh yeah, because you know the fallacies pretty well.
Yeah, and that happened to me too. It happened to me in graduate school. So I feel for anyone going through that. I've been there.